All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Zach Pleasant here at IT headquarters, and we're just about to get started here with our webinar this afternoon, kind of catching up with ITE Community. Spend some time going over the basics of ITE Community, setting up your profile, joining communities, adding events, importance of blogs, what you can do on the site. We'll talk a little bit about some of the cosmetic changes that we've made to the site recently. I've tried to simplify some things in terms of the layout, less options to choose, hopefully making it easier for you as the end user to use the site. All right, so as you all probably are aware, this is the community homepage, community.ite.org. And this page, the home page right here, is your entry point to the website that is ITE Community. So those of you, I'm sure everyone's subscribed to the all-member forum. All the discussions that happen online are then kept and aggregated here on the community.ite.org site. So everything that is added to a discussion, any attachments, anything that people add are then all added here to community.org for historic purposes. So in addition to your discussion, you're going to have everything here on the site that is here for perpetuity. So just the basics of the site. You sign in the upper right-hand corner, and then you're going to have a link to your profile over here. We'll go over shortly. And then across the top are your basics of the different sections of the community. So this is our homepage right here. The drop downs from the different aspects of communities that are broken down here, from the all-member forum to councils and committees, member-created communities, consultant, council, and board. And then lists of all communities or communities you are involved with. Networking site is kind of a membership directory. Here's you're going to find all the people on ITE Community. The events it's like our calendar. It is a list of all the events, the upcoming events that not just not ITE headquarters adds, but all members of the community are able to add these events as well. Another way to browse around by seeing the discussion posts, the latest library entries, a glossary, and blogs. And here's a quick button to participate, how to post a message, post a blog, share a file, or join a community. As you scroll down the page, you can see I have a little box here kind of getting started to how to update your subscriptions, because your membership is really about what communities you're subscribed to. And so the more communities you're subscribed to, the more you can participate or see the different variety of discussions that are going on. You don't necessarily have to come to the site to see that, but once you're subscribed, those emails get pushed out to you, just like the all-member forum. Here we have our discussions. This is discussions across all communities. So as you can see, this is the latest post in the all-member forum, but the one right below it is from the Complete Streets Council Administrative Community. So this kind of aggregates all the latest discussions. So you'll see the top 4 most recent. Job postings is from our job posting sites, but we like to showcase those here as well. So if you're visiting the site, you can see some other jobs that are posted. Just like the rest of the stuff, the blogs are the most recent blogs that have been posted. It doesn't matter what community they've been posted to, but the top 3 not top 3, but the most recent 3 blogs and the most recent events that are upcoming. And here at the bottom, you see the most active members, and I was just making note this morning that all these people are in our consultants council or are members of our board, and so it's great to see leadership getting involved. Okay. All right, just had a technical question. All right, no. All right. Okay, so that's an overview of the homepage. And you're going to see different members are going to see different things on the homepage. It really, all IT members are going to see all member forum posts. They're going to see all council posts, but a little later we'll talk about some communities where you can create that are private communities, and only the members of those communities that you invite will be able to see that stuff. So there's some things like when I had in the drop down here, like the consultants council and the board. Because I'm a super admin, I get to see everything, but people that are not members of our International Board of Direction or Consultants Council aren't going to see that kind of stuff. So it really, the homepage will look slightly different for different people depending on what members of what communities they're part of. So I'm going to go up to your profile just to get a little basic overview of your profile. Much like other social networking sites, your profile is just a place to say a little bit about yourself. The basics are pulled from the ITE membership directory, so your information, if it's up to date here, that means it's up to date in our directory, our overall directory, your address, your phone number, your work details. If you update those here, they're also updated in our membership directory. But across the top here, you can add your picture and a bio, your education and history, that kind of stuff. And then across the top, we have some tabs here that basically give you a summary of what's going on with you in ITE Community. So there could be a summary of all the contacts that you made, the people that you've kind of friended or whatnot in ITE Community, your networks. We don't really use this a lot, but you can see like, oh, other people that also went to Syracuse University or other people that live in the same town that you are. It connects that way. Here's another way to see what communities you're already a part of. Like everybody, all ITE members are automatically subscribed to the all-member forum, so you're going to be a part of that. But then you can see, oh, did I join that community or am I part of that community? This is a place that you can kind of see that summary. Another, what I find is kind of beneficial here on your community, once you get involved, or on your profile page, once you get involved in the community and start adding some posts, you might say, hey, I really think I contributed to that discussion, or I might have participated, or was the last time did I really, voice that thought? You can come to your profile and click on My Contributions, and what you're going to see is your history of contributions to ITE Community. So if you contributed to a discussion, you're going to see all the discussions. So my last one was about this webinar. I posted twice about this webinar to the all-member forum. These discussions, the last time was yesterday, 6 days ago. I answered a question here. So it just gives you a list of all the contributions that you've had on the community. Then if you scroll down a little further, oh, what blog posts have I added? And it kind of gives you an overview of your personal contributions to the community, what library entries that you've added. And I'm going to talk a bit more about how we do all these things, but on your profile, this is a way to see kind of a summary of that. And then under your account, you have an inbox, much like emails that are exchanged within the community. You go to your inbox. You can have your privacy settings, which adjust who sees what content. If you don't really want everyone to see some of your stuff, you can say, oh, members can see it, public can see it, or only my contacts can see it. Email preferences, what email account you want things to send to, and your subscriptions. So this is how you're joining. You can see what members, not only are you seeing what members of what communities, but you're seeing how you receive the messages. So under your subscriptions, like for example for the all-member forum, I get those messages in real time. So every time somebody posts the all-member forum, I see it in real time. But most people, when we or actually everybody, when we automatically subscribe them to the all-member forum, they receive the daily digest, the once-a-day email summary of all the messages from the previous day. So you can go through the different, you can subscribe in different ways, real-time or daily digest. Plain text is, if you don't want to receive the HTML formatting in your text. Then there's no emails, which you can turn off for a little while, like if you go on vacation or something like that, and unsubscribe removes you from that community. Okay, all right, now working our way across the board here, I'm going to, we talked about the home page. Now we'll talk about the community. So in this drop down here, like I showed before, you'll have the all-member forum that we're all subscribed to that will take you directly to its kind of community summary page. Then we have the variety of councils and committees, member-created communities, and then we're going to talk about, let's see, no, not my communities. We'll start with all communities. So if you want to see a list of all communities on community.it.org, you can click this button, and you'll see it's sorted by alphabetical order of all communities. So these are communities that are councils or committees, the all-member forum, and then there's ones that community members have created themselves. So everyone has the ability, all IT members that sign into IT Community have the ability to create their own community. And you'll see over here on the right this green button, create a new community. So if you had a task force, or you don't see a community that is interesting your needs, or you have a topic area that you want to discuss with other IT members, that you'd like to create and say, hey, this is really specified, or this is something that really hasn't been covered somewhere else. You can create your own community and make it public, or that all IT members can see, or you can just make it invite only, like if you had something that you just wanted to share amongst 10 people and invite them to your community. And if you make that community private to just invite only, then it won't show up on the aggregate messages of the home page and that kind of stuff, and other people won't be able to join it unless they submit like an invitation to you. But this list of all communities, you'll have the name here and kind of what it's about, and then some statistics. So, for example, the advocacy network, was created. The last person joined yesterday. This is what the advocacy committee is about. It's had 161 discussions, 19 entries into the library, and there's 270 members of it. I'm not a member of it here because there's this blue join button. So if I wanted to join this, I'd hit join, and it's going to ask me, all right, Zach, if you want to join the advocacy network, do you want to receive messages in real time, daily digest, plain text? And that's as simple as it is. Once you've subscribed, the next discussion that's posted in Advocacy Network, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it either in real time or in my daily digest. But you can see here, because it just says enter, I am a member of the All-Member Forum. So that one is obviously our largest one, with over 6,000 discussions and nearly 350 entries into the library, and looks like almost 4,000 members, 14,000 members, excuse me. Okay. So we're going to go through. We can go back and also see. So then, very similar is My Communities. So this will be the ones that, much like on your profile page, are the ones that you're already a member of. Okay, I'm actually going to go to Councils and Committees. So after the All-Member Forum, our councils and committees are their next largest group of communities. And this year, or last year, we made the switch that, membership, the membership in council is only generated through IT Community. So if you would like to become a member of a new council, the way you do it is by subscribing to that community on community.ite.org. So if you wanted to join the Complete Streets Council, you can come here and enter. Well, I'm already a member of it, so I would enter it. But if I wanted to become a member of the Freight Mobility Standing Committee, I join it. I'm a member of the Standing Committee from that moment forward. So this is a list of all our councils and committees here. All right, so we'll go, let's see. So this will be the Traffic Engineering Council, one of our largest council. So now I'm going to talk about each community has a homepage. So right now, I'm on the Traffic Engineering Council's homepage for the IT Community. So while it has a discussion that you'll get emails about, all those emails are then aggregated or collected here on the website under Traffic Engineering Council's discussions. So each homepage is like a smaller version of the overall IT Community homepage, but it's just specific to the Traffic Engineering Council here. So you'll see the latest discussion posts here. You'll see the latest community blogs. You'll see the latest shared files of the Traffic Engineering Council. And these, what are on the homepage, kind of correspond with what is across the top here. So you click on discussion, and like I said, there's 1,400 discussions that be posts that have happened here in the Traffic Engineering Council. But you'll be able to see specific to this council the discussions, the number of replies, the number of days ago that the post was, who the author was. So this is a way to kind of see the topics, or go back and, say, oh, have they talked about this? And these things are sortable too. So if you don't want it chronological, you could click the top here, and you're going to see it. Well, this is alphabetical order backwards right now, but you click it again, and it's going to, start. Well, because the apostrophe is going to, or the the M's first, but the numbers and then letters alphabetically. Another really handy tool, I think, in terms of seeing what is most popular that we use here at headquarters is clicking the replies. So you can see which topics generated the most amount of discussion, which the most amount of replies, and kind of look at things that way. Each community home is going to have a library. So these are, if you send a message, as James here has, if you send a message to the Traffic Engineering Council and you include a document, say you include a picture, or you include, in this case, a Word document, or in this case, a PDF, and you attach it to your message as you send it out to the Traffic Engineering Council, that attachment automatically goes in this library. So this library, while it is in some senses attached to the discussion, but also, separate as well. So this is a kind of a cool way to say, okay, this library entry, is the newsletter for the Traffic Engineering Council, and over here you see the statistics. How many people have viewed this? How many people have downloaded this? You can, yeah. So that automatically, while people may see the discussion post that you've posted about this, how many people have clicked on the link to actually download the file? The library also, going back to the library, it has two views. I mean, this is the innate view here, which is kind of like a list, but you also can switch it to a folder view if that's more helpful for you in terms of organizing things by folders. Each community has its own blog as well that can be separate, or not. I'm sorry, it's not separate. It's part of the council, and this is the blog, but it just lists all the blog posts that have been affiliated with this council. So, like John Davis has posted his December blog, one from the fall. Blog posts are different from discussion posts. So discussion posts are the emails that you get, just like the all-member form. You send a message out, you're hoping to get responses to it. Blogs simply live on the IT Community site. So you can post a blog, but one of the cool things about blogs are you can really opt who sees this. So you can actually take these, well, they also have stats, so you can see the number of people that have viewed your blog posts, but you can also take these beyond just the IT community, and I'll show you. When you're creating a blog, I'm going to go through to edit this one, but when you're creating a blog, this is the page you're going to see. You give it a title, and the title really shows up in the URL of the blog, so that's kind of neat. You have the author here, the date, and then the title of your blog becomes the URL. You post, you write the text to your blog, and then on the bottom, you have these options here. You associate it with a community, so this one's associated with the Traffic Engineering Council, but who can read this blog entry? While ITE Community is geared towards simply IT members, this blog feature does allow you to take things public. So you can say, I want the public to be able to view this blog. So once you do that, but only IT members can comment on it, you can take this URL here of your blog, copy it, and send it to other social networks. You can post this on Twitter, you could post it on Facebook, you could post it anywhere else that you wanted to add this to get a little exposure to your community, or to what you're working on in ITE. So that's just one way that the blog feature can reach beyond. Or you could add it to your discussion. You could send a link to the blog to the discussion, or you could, like I said, you can send the blog post beyond that. Out into other social media realms. Okay, each community can also post an event. So any member of the Traffic Engineering Council, once you subscribe, you have the ability to come on here and, well, I'm not a member of this one, so it's going to say join a community. But if I were to join it right now, I'm now a member of this. I can add an event. So Traffic Engineering Council has a call coming up, or you have, you know, something that you think would be interest to the specific community. You can add an event. And so that shows up in then this community's calendar. You fill out the event details, the start, the end, and then that will show up on the community's event page. This one doesn't have any events right now. Let's see. I think there's going to be under the all-member forum, there's some events. So you can see that each community then has its list of events. So you can even take this URL and share, hey, this is our community's events. This is what we've got coming up. This calendar is kind of what we have going on now. And then the last link on each community page is going to be the members. And so you can search to see who's members of each community. Okay, working our way across the top, let me just look to see if anybody has any questions yet. Is there a preferred web browser when using ITE Community? I'm not in my office right now. I'm in our web room, and I'm on Internet Explorer. I'm not sure which version I'm on right now, but I think this might be IE 11. It works just fine. IE 11 works great in Chrome. I'm pretty sure it works in Firefox. We get into problems with older web browsers, so I know IE 8, Microsoft doesn't really support that anymore, so things start to look really weird and not function as well in IE 8. I haven't heard any complaints beyond that, but as far moving back to IE 8, I know that one has caused some problems. So, okay, working our way across the top. Keep the questions coming in the chat box. I'll go through, check these regularly. So yeah, looks like Jim says works well in Firefox and Chrome. Okay, working our way across the top. The network is just another directory. It's a way to find people in the community. Events. Okay, so I just talked about adding events to your specific community, and one of the cool things, so you can see the events via each specific community, so you can see the events of the all-member, or you can see the events of the Traffic Engineering Council or the Advocacy Network on each of their respective community pages, but those are all aggregated here, so you can see all upcoming events across all communities. So right here we got all-member forum, we got today's, this is us right here, all-member forum, but then you have the Freight Mobility Standing Committee has this meeting coming up, Freight Mobility Standing Committee. So you can see, across the event, and we actually take this calendar and publish it on ite.org site so that, we can see across events. And like I said, all members of the community have the ability to add these events. So you can add this event, you can add an event for your local district, section, and chapter, or your specific community that you've set up, and it's going to go into our overall calendar. So that's just one way of putting the power and the networking in your guys' hands. It doesn't have to come to me to put something on. You can just say, hey, we got this event coming up. I think everybody would be interested. The browse feature is also interesting in the sense that this is also the aggregate too. So you hit browse our latest discussions. This is going to be discussions across all communities. So as you look here, just like on the individual when we were looking at the Traffic Engineering Council page, this is across the board. So you're going to say this is the threads, these are the number of replies, who the author, how recent, but what community was it a part of. So these are across all communities. So you can see all-member forum, complete streets, council, their admin, ped and bike standing committee. So this gives you a breadth of like all the activity that's happening across ITE Community. And you may not be subscribed to all these different communities. We're subscribed to the all-member forum, but by clicking on the browse discussion posts, you can say, hey, wow, they're really talking about something that either interests me here, or I didn't know that this was happening here. Maybe I should this is a community that I want to be a part of, and because they're really talking about what I'm interested in. Same thing here for the library entries. Unlike on the individual community pages, as we wait for this to load, this will be the library entries across the IT community, across all the different things. So yeah, 17 minutes ago, somebody, my coworker Patty, added that. So you can see the library entries. So these are things that were either attached to discussions in other discussions or other communities. You can see, this is from the Coordinating Council, this is from M&O ITS Council, the different action plans, things that people have posted there, and that's across community. Glossary is a tool that we set up when we first started that has a lot of definitions of things. We haven't really actively used this, but there was an attempt here to make definitions for a lot of transportation-related terms. And then likewise here with the blogs, these are all the blogs across all the communities. The Participate post here, the Participate tab, this is how you actually become active with, you'll see on a lot of the pages, like when you go to the blog page, you'll see these green buttons, post a message or create a new blog or add an event to the library. But they're all kind of summed up here too, so you can just go and post your message, select your discussion. You can cross-post, so you can post it to two different communities simultaneously. Your subject, fill it out just like any other email or any kind of, here's your WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get editor. And then if you needed to add an attachment, you can click here and say, hey, well, I got to select which discussion first, but you can say, hey, I want to attach a file. You choose a file from your desktop and walk yourself through that. So that will add to your discussion. It'll send out the message, but then they'll have a little attachment. It's not really an attachment, it's a link to the file in the library of that community. And that's what we showed before with the stats and all that kind of stuff. So actually I'm going to look in here and see if we got any. Okay, how can we paste a logo on an event? Okay, files in the library. Is there a favored file type? Okay, let me, so for an event, when you say add an event here, I believe there is okay, so there's some of the options, start date, end date, time zone, display until the end of the date, in search, those kind of options. Then it just asks you basically through these questions, all about it. And in the event description, and then here down at the bottom, you have this event logo. So you can upload a logo, gives you a little design, the width and length and stuff of how it should be, and then what kind of registration. So this event logo place would be how you add a logo. To answer your question, Paul, let's see, we got a few other questions here. Okay. Okay, so if sending a message to the people of a particular community, is it better to send the message as a discussion or a blog? So sending a message is really the only way that you're reaching all the people of the community. So posting a message actually puts your message in people's inbox, just like the all-member forum. So it will send a message to everyone that's subscribed to that community. So like when we were looking through before, the Traffic Engineering Council has nearly 3,000 people. You send a message to the discussion, it hits all those people. Like when I advertised this community or this webinar, I sent it to the all-member forum, and I responded to my own discussion a few days later to try to get as many people out there because the all-member forum has the most people. If I post a blog, which I have in the past, the blog simply lives on the community website. It doesn't post anything. It doesn't send anything. Oh, it posts to the community, but it doesn't send a message to anyone. It doesn't alert anyone that there's a new blog post. So the blog tool is just different in the sense that it lives right there, but like I said, you can take the URL of a blog post and share that with outside of the community if you allow the public to see that. So that's the difference between the message and the blog post. It really depends on your objective. Okay, looks like we got another question. If we can import our portfolio from LinkedIn to ITE Community, yes, it does work. So in your profile, you can link. You can use LinkedIn instead of filling out all your stuff again, because how many profiles do we have on the internet? You can import from LinkedIn, and it's just going to ask you to log in to, connected community like access to your LinkedIn info. And so you have to sign into your LinkedIn account, and it allows you to say, hey, yeah, I want this imported, I want that imported, I want this imported, I don't want that imported. So yeah, you can walk through that process, and it does work. And then people that usually import their stuff are from LinkedIn, there's this little logo in the bottom of LI, in the bottom of their profile, their picture. It lets you know. Let's see, any other questions? Okay. Okay, yeah, this is a good one, Paul. An event that is already on the list, so if you go to the events and something's already on there, this has been a problem for me here as well. If there's already an event on there and somebody else has added the description, but you want to edit it, you can't. So it's hard to find out who actually posted it. So somebody else, it's basically the person that adds the event has the ability to edit it and add the logo. So it's sometimes difficult to find out who that person is unless they've added. They may or may not be the contact, whatever it is. But yes, only the person that added an event can edit it. Okay, uploading lots of photos. Yes, you can use the library. So the libraries all act independently as well as connected to the community. So let's say here, you guys, let's use one. So for example, alumni ITE library. So I can create, I gotta minimize this, let's see, okay, create a new library entry. I can title it photos from fall meeting, whatever it is, right? Okay, add my description, la da 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 da. If there's some folder, if it's from these projects or not, it doesn't have to. But what am I uploading? A standard file upload, okay? Who's the owner? Me. Next. You can just start choosing your files. So if there are a bunch of pictures that you want to add, say there's 10 pictures from your meeting, or hey, here's a way we took these photos at whatever fall event, and I'm going to share it with everybody. Okay, well, I'm going to cancel this because I'm not really going to upload any files right now. But once, whoops, I already did that anyway. Let's see if I can delete that. Anyway, there's a bunch of these ones that were not posted. But for example, with these webinar materials, then if there's a bunch of photos in here, there'll be a bunch of photos. You can actually just share your link of that to the discussion and say, hey, I just added a bunch of photos. Here they are. So you can upload the files first, or you could be posting your message, and then when you're adding the attachment, add all those photos in. So I hope that answers that question. Videos are the same as well. Obviously, videos take a little while longer, adding videos to the community, because videos are usually very large in size. But yes, you can add videos. And as you saw when I was, let's see here, when I was adding stuff here, when you say what type of file, you can upload just a hyperlink if you want, or standard file, or a webinar link, or a YouTube video linked specifically to the YouTube video. I think when you select this, then the YouTube video actually plays on that page, on the library page. So yes, you can upload videos in different ways as well. Okay, so I've kind of covered the different aspects of the communities in terms of each community homepage. I've talked about this across the top. I've talked about these tabs. I've talked about our profile. Talked about posting a message, posting a blog, adding a library entry, how to attach a library file to your message. But one of the things I wanted to talk about are kind of now some best practices. Well, a good way, because these discussions and these files and everything lives on the community, for a long time, people have the ability to search and go back and say, hey, has anyone covered this topic? And when you search, you can search, am I just going to search in discussions, or I'm going to search for this range of dates? I remember somebody talking about that. But a good thing to do and a best practice is if you ask a question of the community, if you say, hey, my town's working on this, parking aisles backup. Okay, if people answer your questions and you find the answer to what you were looking for, it's great to send a thank you and a summary that this actually worked. So here's a good example of one by Rajesh. He just sent a thank you that's basically like, oh, this suggestion worked, this helped, I'm thinking about this, so that then if somebody's searching across the community and it's like, I'm looking for this topic, they can read that Rajesh had this same question and this is what worked for him. And he thanked everyone, and everyone's like, okay, they appreciated my input, and this all work. So that's that's a best practice I'd like to see a little bit more of, especially if people answer your questions and you get results from the community. All right, cool. We got some people still here, so I will pick up where I was. Thank you for sticking around, staying with me. Yeah, that was kind of alarming. Anyway, I just covered kind of best practices of thanking your community members and thanking you if you ask a question, kind of summarizing what worked for you, or what question or what answer was the best in terms of your response. And that's kind of just a best practice across the communities. And I'm kind of really getting to the end of my presentation today. I did want to show a few things about how we simplified some things. I don't know how much you guys had looked around the site before and stuff, but we really tried to simplify that there's only a few things to really select under each thing, that there's not a whole lot. There used to be just multiple ways to get to different communities and different things, and I think overall it provides some level of confusion to people. So we kind of really just went for the basic, what are the most important things that people want to see. One of the cool, at least in my perspective, technological things that we did, we made the site, it's called responsive design. So really depending on what size your browser is, the site changes for that. So you can see how the text changes, and then it switches to single here, and the bars go away, and it all comes here in a drop down. So it doesn't matter whether you're on a mobile phone, on a iPad, or some other type of tablet. The site adjusts to whatever size screen you're on. You can see how everything just kind of moves around, which really helps in terms of if you want to check out the site on your phone or on a tablet. So, all right. So, if you guys have any questions or want to I can unmute you guys if you have anything that you'd like me to expound a little bit on, or anything that you guys have. It looks like Dale was here and he's on, and he responded to a discussion while we were here. That was great. But if there's anything you wanted me to expound on any more, I was just kind of going to take this portion of the webinar to open up the floor for any questions or any things you guys would really like to see, any suggestions, anything of that. You can either type it in, or if you want to raise your hand, I can unmute you. Let's see. Paul, did you have a question? No. Okay. Val, do you have a question? You have a hand up. I can unmute you. Okay. If anyone wants to chat, text anything in or put anything in the in the chat box. But yeah, I hope that gives you guys a good overview. I know some of you guys have administered your own communities, or some people have created their own communities. Um, so there's some different capabilities there. If you set up your own community, like I said, under communities, once you set up your community, if you set it private, there's some stuff about whether who you want to be able to join the community. Who can view it, that kind of stuff. And once you're an administrator of the community, you have a little more capabilities of like seeing who the members are and adjusting some things, inviting people and not. You have the ability to what we call pin a post. So if you're a community administrator, we can, so for example, if where am I in the all member forum? So just for fun, from the other day. Okay, so if I really, if I was the community administrator for, this is obviously the all member forum. But if I was, had a smaller community, whether I was a council chair or wanted to really take a posting and make it seem more important, we have, in your community administrator, you have this ability here, and only community admins can see this, is pin post to the top. And once you do that, whenever you come to the community home, it took that discussion and placed it at the top so that it's more likely to be seen. You can only do this with one at a time, but you can pin a post to the top. And I don't think it shows up here. No, not on the main page, but on the specific community that you have, it will show up here until you unpin it. So it's just kind of a cool way. So if you, for example, if you had, your minute, something that was important, your community, your specific community, like a action plan or a communications plan, or something that was just a summary of an important meeting, or a survey that you've emailed out, something that you really want everyone to see. Community administrators have the ability to do that. So that's something else for administrators. All right, let's see. I think Val just left. Val says, really appreciates the formation of communities. It's the primary way I interact with ITE. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it too, because one of the things for us here at headquarters is we get to see from a lot more of our membership through the community. We really get to see the variety of perspectives, and we get to see from members that may not necessarily come to our meetings or are involved in other levels, but we really get to see that, which keeps us up to date of what topics are most important to our membership, because we are here to serve your guys' needs in terms of support and that kind of thing. And so seeing what was important to you guys, what discussions or hot topics and things are getting the most replies, is really helpful for us, turning it back around and saying, okay, well, we need a webinar on this, or we need a journal article about this. So it's great to see that. And also, I just want to reiterate, with the council structures and councils being all community-based now, council's participation is really important in terms of our topic areas. If you're a part of the traffic engineering council or the transit or whatever it is, and that's where you primarily should be sharing and getting information, we think that's great. Let's see. Any other questions? Okay. Remind how to keep discussion at the top. That's the pinning the post. So Jim, I hope you saw that. I'll go through that one more time. Let's see. I'll do it here on the Traffic Engineering Council. So in the Traffic Engineering Council, you find the discussion that you want to be the most important. So you go and say, okay, your winter newsletter. Let's say that discussion you want to pin to the post. Once you've posted it, you find the post. You find where it is on the community. So you go to your, whatever community that was part of, and you go to that discussion tab here, And then administrators have this ability right next to the drop-down of, reply to discussion, reply to sender, post a message, forward. They'll have this option if you're an administrator to a community, pin post to the top. And it puts this little icon here with like the push pin. And then when you go back to the community homepage, you're going to see now that Winter 2014 newsletter is at the top, so that anybody comes to these council pages, that's what they're going to see first. So that's how you do that. And like I said, that is only for community administrators. I got a good joke there, Jim. Yeah, I'm going to be applying. No. So because you guys don't know, Tom Brahms, the CEO of ITE, is going to be retiring at the end of this year, so Jim just asked if I'm going to apply for his position. No, I don't think, not yet. Any other discussions or any other questions? So I guess what I want to emphasize, the things really to take away is while the community is primarily a discussion tool, listservs, like a advanced listserv, everything is saved on the community.ite.org. So you can go in here, and it's a greater place to share files, find older conversations, post blogs to share outside of the ITE community, that kind of thing. But I also want you to take away from the best way to interact with people is through the discussion tool. It is through posting a message, replying to messages. It really gets the discussion. While we may not read every email, I mean, if you're sending a discussion post to a group of 800 people, one of these communities, a good chance are like 10%, at least 10%, if not more, are going to see that, And if people if there's even a smaller percentage of that want to answer and participate, there's not always just a benefit in the answer or the number of people. It's just even the people that might not want to participate, that might see a similar topic that they're interested in, there's value in them seeing the interaction and saying, hey, there's other people out there in similar circumstances as I am that have similar problems that they want to deal with, or that they're dealing with that also, and it builds that community. And then you see people at meetings later, you see people out and kind of recognizable of like, hey, let me talk to you a little bit more about that issue, or did you ever get that resolved, and that kind of thing. So just trying to build that community. All right, well, I'm sorry for the interruption that we had here, guys, earlier. We scheduled 90 minutes for this just because we didn't know how long or how many questions and that kind of thing that we would get. But if you have any other questions, now just go ahead and hit them in the chat box. If not, like I said, I'm going to kind of do this webinar, or a version of this webinar, on a quarterly basis now to get more people involved. I'm always available as well to answer questions and talk about IT community, any strategies that you guys have if you want to establish your own community about a specific topic, or you're already a community admin or involved in a council or a different project and want to get the word out about things. I'm always here to help you guys with that. But yeah, if there's not any other questions, I'll leave the line open here for the chat box open for another couple minutes. But if not, then I will kind of sign off, and I'll leave it, like I said, a chat box open for a couple minutes. If you have any other questions, I'll reply. If not, I really thank you for getting on the webinar today, look forward to communicating with you guys and working with you guys in the future.